Good morning, traders. How we doing out there? Who's ready to get back into the trading seat and see what we can come up with today? Looks like we were on point yesterday with the call out of potentially a nice little push up, followed by that rip down. Let's see what I can think of today. Hey, it looks like we might get the opposite this time. Find out right here on live trading.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. Oh, it's Vegas lore, that phrase.
Good morning, traders. It's good to see you guys out there. And I do see multiple mentions in the chat. Looks like we got some new names out there. We got Curious George. I like the name out there. And we got Sean Hand out there. And like always, guys, what we're here for on live trading is not necessarily here to, talk about the Lamborghinis and the Mercedes that we have in the garage. No, that's not what we're here for. We're here to show you guys a processed approach on how you can learn to be a trader, right? Because the key here is not necessarily for copycat trading. That's what I see a lot of in different chat rooms. That's where we separate from all those gurus out there charging for chat rooms while we do everything here on Benzinga for free right here for you guys, live trading, talk about swing trading a lot. And of course, we take a look at some options trades here and there. But what we're really here for you guys is to show you guys the processed approach every single day, getting ready for the market, knowing that at the end of the day, it's not always going to be green and that we're going to keep battling with you guys out there, whether it be ups or downs, right? We got to ride this roller coaster wave. And I hope that you guys can learn from us. So let's get to the action. Of course, let me take a look at some of the stock charts that I'm looking at. Ryan will be joining me just shortly, guys. Definitely smash the like. He'll be here in a second. It's good to see you guys out there. Austin, Smoked Tuna, Beach Bum. That's what I like to see. And Curious, that's what we're about, man. No hype, real lessons, and the grind. 150%, man. And you'll see it. You'll see it from us because there's going to be moments where we do things right, moments where we do things wrong, and you'll see the transparency. When we do things wrong, we'll have a tendency of doing what? Admitting to it. And I think that that's really what helps traders versus trying to tell you guys that everything's going to lean into success and that we're going to make, $30,000 today. Let's just be honest. That's probably not going to happen. But the truth is, we'll still be battling and looking for base hits versus home runs. Let's go to the market. SPY coming down here, and I've drawn it out completely on how I see it, right? So I'm looking for a pullback into this prior resistance area that actually lines up pretty well with the 50 moving average. So the 50 moving average right now is sitting at 442.70. So remember yesterday, I called out a rip and a drop. So today I'm going to actually call out the opposite that I'll be looking for. And it's just going to be played on levels, right? And the levels will tell me if things are working well. So I'm going to be looking for a 442.50 dip and then a recovery today. Why? It gets down to that 50 moving average. Then you might find some buyers, shake this market right back up a little bit. Doesn't mean that we're done with the correction. No, but I'm always looking to see if psychology is leaning too heavily on one side of the market. This is one thing that I've been trying to do more and more of is think about the markets technically, think about the markets in the macro environment, but also think about the markets in what? The psychology of traders. Yesterday, I felt there was a lot of pessimism going into the markets. What do we get in the pre-market today? A lot of downside action hanging towards the bottom. So I'd be looking for a red to green move. That's what I'm going to be looking for. We'll see what happens there. All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look at some of the action in the markets. XOM is going to be one that I'll keep an eye out. Of course, I took my money and ran on oil yesterday, so no positions today. Going to look to see if we can do some pullbacks. So I'd like pullbacks back down towards 107 and 106, and then I'd try to join the party again. We'll see what happens there on XOM. Also going to continue watching, of course, stocks like Netflix. Netflix is actually on my radar for a potential short here. And so I got to be careful if the market bounces today, but this is the way I have it drawn out. Full rule of three It tried to do the breakout on the 4th attempt of resistance. So you can see it here. 1, 2, 3, 4. It failed that. Tried to even do it in the pre-market coming back up. Can't do it. Now I think it might hit down through that 427, going down into the 420s. Doesn't look too bad there on Netflix. And this looks pretty head and shoulders top there for me. So we're going to see if Netflix is going to come down today. If Netflix takes a hit, I'd see Disney also pulling back. So I know Disney's pretty strong right now. We'll see if it pulls back there towards the 90s today. And I'm keeping an eye out on swing trades for potentially on Penn. I see an inverse head and shoulders here. I want to see an attempt go to 24 on the hourly, but not close below 24.50s. So a nice little wick attempt, red to green, recover 24 today. And I might be taking a swing trade attempt on the long side for Penn. We'll see what happens on these trades. Like always, keep up with all the action traders right here on Benzinga. We got a lot more for you guys. Ryan will be joining me in just a second. You ready, big dog?
Actually, right now is when I'm going to be joining you.
Hey, sounds good to have you back. Always, Lord Ryan, back in the house. And we're going to get after this market. Like always, it's never going to be just one way. And I think you've probably heard me, Ryan, talking about how I'm looking at maybe the opposite of what we got yesterday. So rip down and then a recovery today. So it's kind of like that in the market a lot of the times. And I think that there's no one way to look at the market before the open. What I like to do is have situations for both sides, right? So if it's not going to be a rip down and continuation down, what could it also mean? Well, we also have this uptrend line where we could come back up and reject that line. That's the 448 level. And where do I have that level drawn? That's pretty much from the daily action, from the trend that we've been in recently. So you can see here, it held on pullback here, held on pullback here. So I'm looking to see if we start creating this as resistance here versus it acting as support. That's how I tried to act in the last couple of days. We had a couple of wicks that were trying to recover that level. Now we can't recover it, and we're heading down. We'll see what happens there on the SPY. Now to kick it to my man Ryan's outlook. Like always, you guys smash the like. We'll take a look at his outlook, and his outlook could be completely different than mine. That's what markets are truly all about. How we doing, Ryan?
We're doing really good. I'm sorry, I've got a meeting in the morning now, so I'm going to be a little late every time, but I'm not going to miss out on a chance to join you folks. Mitch, I didn't hear all of your outlook, but I think we actually have a quite similar outlook here today. First of all, I completely agree with you. The market loves to chop around, especially right now, and it loves to inflict pain when it does that. Now, looking at the SPY daily chart here, you can see we are coming up on a bounce spot. Okay. One of the things that I said is I really want this to trade back down into this shaded purple area, which I think is where we find some really good support. It's not going to go there in 1 or 2 days. It's likely not going to go there quickly. There's going to be some up and down. And I think what's going to happen here is we're really butting up against this 444. We're currently at 444.40. 444 is definitely a new support that was prior resistance. And right below that is the 50-day moving average. So we're going to have some support here at one of these levels for sure. And what I'm expecting is bounce. Now, how long that bounce is going to live, I don't know. Could it be multi-day? Sure. Could it coincide with other things like earnings prints or other data? Sure, that would be rational, frankly. That would be expected. But I am expecting a little bit of a bounce here. How high we go is going to be something we'll look into once that bounce starts. And then eventually, I do expect this to break down as we go to this colored area, the shaded purple area. So that's kind of my outlook here for the SPY. I don't have any trades lined up for the SPY. I didn't carry anything. I'm not in any of the ETFs, but I am looking for some smaller names today. We do have a couple that are on deck here. First one is going to be TSAT. Okay, this is Telesat. Now, we have a conference call going on. Telesat shares are trading higher if the company reported second quarter results and tapped MDA under $2.1 billion deal as a prime satellites manufacturer of advanced Telesat light speed low Earth orbit constellation. So really good move here. We actually traded up to 1650, just a gigantic move. We've really kind of come back in. But watch this one. Volume looks good here in the pre-market. If we get any type of volume move through this VWAP, I think 16 is probably on deck. It's possible. Anyway, I'm not saying it's for sure going there, but it's absolutely possible. So TSAT, huge range. Nice catalyst. Let's definitely keep this on watch here today. And actually, let me go ahead and fix this because this is tripping me out. All right. Next here is going to be Eton. This is Eton Pharmaceuticals. This is a really kind of a cheap stock. Stock was $2.50 yesterday, about $3.50 here today. Catalyst, Eton Pharmaceutical shares are trading higher after the company announced better than expected Q2 financial results. Now, here's the thing. We're holding these gains, right? So we're kind of flagging sideways here. We're right under the VWAP. This is intriguing. Let's watch this one right out of the gate. In fact, I'm going to queue this one up for a potential order. Eton, this looks good. I really want to see volume. I know the volume's kind of died off here, but I'm hoping that there's going to be some type of volume pop when the market opens. Next is going to be ACHR, and we've talked about this one quite a bit. What a good news drop for ACHR yesterday. All right. First of all, we are still up 20%. We were as high as almost $8 in the after hour session yesterday. Catalyst here, Archer Aviation shares are trading higher after the company announced a $215 million investment. The company, Whisk Aero, and Boeing also announced litigation settlement and collaboration. So lots of news flow here on Archer yesterday. We got that. We also got, there was something else here about them getting FAA here. Where is it? Here we go. Into an agreement to settle. That's the litigation. There's it's the litigation. There was one here where it's probably in one of these PRs. Yeah, FAA issues Archer certificate to begin flying midnight, on track to complete its first ever eVTOL aircraft customer delivery. So that is actually really big news here for Archer. We got that in the after hours yesterday. We're still seeing it kind of hold up today. Now the price action here, we're bleeding a little bit, but that doesn't really concern me, at least not yet. I want to see how the stock behaves when it opens up. I'd love to see a move through VWAP. We've traded this before. I actually am starting to like this and Joby more and more for a long-term play. So one of the things I might consider doing is if I can get a really good entry on a day trade and I can peel off some of the position as it starts to trade up, maybe I'll hold a little for an investment and then add around that core position. Haven't decided exactly how I'm going to play this yet, but I am moving more and more toward also swinging this as opposed to just day trading and scalping it. Other thing to note off ACHR, when this stock moves, it's always worth keeping an eye on Joby to see if there's any trade setup that can be taken on Joby since they're somewhat related. Next here is going to be PGY. This is Pagaya. We've talked about this one a whole lot. I don't know that I have any type of line on the actual company or the products, but I know we've traded this multiple times off the relative volume scanner. It's moved before. It's likely going to move again. Catalyst here, Pagaya Technology shares are trading higher after the company reported better than expected Q2 sales results. So again, we're getting some of the earnings and some of these smaller caps, good reports causing them to trade up. That's exactly what we want to see. Next here is going to be Rigetti, and this is one that we've talked about quite a bit. We've traded this quite a bit. Really like Rigetti. I really like Rigetti to try to make a move for 2 here today. First step, first mile marker, if you will, on if that's going to be successful is if we take out this VWAP. If we do that on volume, I really like that, especially if we go towards this 2 level. Rigetti's been a really good trader for us. I like the way that the actual stock trades. I've been very successful in trading it. A couple more worth mentioning here. AIXI. This did pop here, got as high as 10, came right back down. I didn't see much on this earlier. Let's see. Yeah, I didn't really see anything news here related, but keep this on your radar. Really need volume for that. And IDAI. I know there were a lot of you folks out there trading IDAI. Bex with you, Tuna, on IDAI. Smoke Tuna looking at IDAI, excuse me. So this one looking really good. We popped. We really kind of held the last time that we popped. Now we popped again. So I want to see if we do that. Can we move through this VWAP? Can we attack some of these highs? We'll see. Catalyst here is Trust Stamp shares are trading higher after the company announced that it received notice of new patent insurance for AI-powered tokenization technology from the US PTO. So looks like we're getting AI thrown in there. Let's see what kind of fireworks this brings for us. On ITAI. It's about all I got. Let's take a look here at IONQ. I didn't really prepare for this one. Looks like this earnings, I'm guessing, based on that. Yep, sure was. So it looks like it's trading higher here. And interesting thing on IONQ, initial move was down. Buyers really kind of stepped in, red, green, and then took it higher. And we're actually holding higher here today. So that's encouraging to see. See if IONQ gives us any type of trade. There might be some other names like QBTS, QUBT, if I'm remembering them all. That might also move along with this. So good stuff there. Folks from the chat, while we wait for Mitch to come back, what do you want to take a look at? I know someone mentioned BSAQ. Now, I didn't trade this yesterday, unfortunately. This was just an absolutely huge move. I still not even sure what this company is. SS Trades, did anyone trade this? 13 from our happy hour show nailed this yesterday. So 13 really hit this one out of the park. Hopefully he's going to be back here today and give us some more entries on stuff that we're looking for. So we'll see. What else? Okay. PGY, IDAI, JTAI. Is that a mistype smoke tuna, or is that an actual ticker? Jet AI. Let's see. Yeah, that is an actual ticker here. So it looks like this one's, is this new? I've never seen this stock before. For this one, this is interesting looking, but I want to see how it trades before I actually take it. I don't want to get involved in something that I've never really seen here before. What other stocks? PSQH, you're asking me for any thought. I don't think I have any thought for you, but we'll take a look at the chart here. This recently has been kind of a monster for us. It's really been kind of spread, so difficult trade. Really, the question is going to be here, are we coming off the bottom? If we come off the bottom, do we make any run back into the previous range? I don't know the answer to that question. For me, if we're trading this, if it was a swing trade, I'd really just trade it against these lows here on the 15-minute chart. Would love to see it break this high right here. So let's get a number there. 1226. If we can take out 1226, looks to me like the next spot up here is probably going to be what, 13 and then maybe 14 and a half. So we'll see if PSQH moves. I think Wiss was trading this one. Wiss might not be here today. He might be out golfing. Good for him, if that's the case. TSAT pushing, you were saying? Yeah, TSAT, I think this is going to be a real good one. We already reclaimed the VWAP here. Volume looking good. ACHR, Rigetti. Let me get TSAT up here. I might actually take a look at that before we take a look at Rigetti, but we'll see. Mitch, anything else you want to go over before we get started here?
I mean, today's one of those days where you're going to hear me kind of be more like trying to look at things, right? A lot of times I come in sometimes and I'm like looking for a certain sector, looking for a certain industry setup. The truth is right now we're in a little bit of a mixed market. And when we're in a mixed market, that's when I feel like I need to be careful. I don't want to overly expose myself when I feel like I can't read the market well. Right now is one of those times where it's not like perfect reading. And so you need to be a little bit careful, especially when we're getting turns, right? I don't think this is the time, at least, like to just go short a bunch of tech names either, because we're still near the top of the range. We can always bounce. I always keep that in mind. So the key is always risk preservation, and do moves make sense on risk to return. Let's see what happens here out the gates. Of course, we're going to open about 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes here. Will we get that big whoosh down and then recovery? That's when I'm going to be looking at the 1 hour candles versus looking at like a 5-minute candle or 1 minute candle. 1 minute candles a lot of times just create fear and emotions. This is what I've learned more and more. I try my best really to stay out of the 1 minute. When I am in the 1 minute, it has to be just because I've already gotten in and I'm kind of just keeping with the price action. Maybe that makes sense to me. And this is why I feel like a lot of smaller even penny stock traders sometimes get wrecked, because they have a tendency also of being on that 1 minute time frame. It's a tough trade to trade on the 1 minute. You have to be quick. You have to be almost the fastest traders on the market. All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look at some other action. Of course, I'm watching the SPY right now. We'll see if we cut down through that 442.50s and then recover on the hourly. Disney had a really good move yesterday. We'll see what happens on the sectors overall. If you take a look here at healthcare, that's pulled back down recently. Financial services have really started to come breaking down. Defensives are pulling back. Energy pulled back just yesterday. And so that's where I'm being a little bit careful on energy. We'll see what happens on it today. Industrials have pulled back a good amount. Cyclicals have pulled back. Technology has pulled back. Utility looks like it's breaking down. Basic materials has pulled back. That looks very head and shoulders top there. So Now you understand why I'm not feeling good about sectors and industries. Nothing is really just standing out to me. Maybe this communications to the upside, that looks a little bit more, but I don't trade many communication names. We'd be talking like maybe like T-Mobile. Maybe you're looking at that, but really, let's just be honest. That's probably not what I'm looking at right now in this environment. If anything, I'd be looking at maybe like low PE names, but even those are getting hit when we're getting an environment where the market's pulling back and defensives can't hold gains. That's a scary environment. Look at PG yesterday, spike out the gates and then just gets wrecked. So yesterday, people were talking about value. That got wrecked. What's up, Ryan?
I was going to say real quick, we are about to open here, but I wanted to really quickly answer Alexa's question here regarding Google. I actually like this to kind of sell off. I think that this might kind of regress back towards 100. Unsure if it gets there, but I really feel like some of these tech names kind of slowing down. We'll see. That's just my gut feeling. We'll see if that actually materializes.
All right, keeping a close eye on the market. I'll let you guys know what I'm seeing out there. Like always, take everything I say with a grain of salt. We'll see how the market reacts here out the gates. I'm seeing the Qs come down here. Definitely going to be watching to see if the SPY does the same. And we get that whoosh down. There it is, down there, a good amount already to start. Let's see if we can get an actual big hourly candle to the downside towards 442. Q's going down. 365.50 seems like a area where it's trying to break through. Let's see if it actually gets through that level and goes to 365. Let me know if you got anything, Ryan. I'll let you focus on some of those smaller names.
I was watching TSAT off the gate here, but it just immediately plunged. So I think that's probably over. Eaton's all over the board.
All right. I do have chances to take some opportunities today. So we'll be watching. Yesterday, I sold NVIDIA for the day trade. I didn't keep it, traders. I had to take the money and run as he was already a good gain. Take a look at Microsoft later in the day. If the Qs recover and get back to green, that's one thing that I'll be watching. I've been waiting to see Microsoft recover. Been talking about it, how when Microsoft just keeps going lower and lower, and it was the name that first got hit, right? At least that's the way I feel. You guys can maybe feel a different way, but that to me was the first one that really got hit on the report. And look how it's been going. Straight down since then.
TSAT is curling here. Whichever one of you folks are trading TSAT here, it looks like it's trying to move. Oh no, okay, it just got rejected right there at the VWAP. Never mind, that might have been a little bit of a fake out. We'll see on TSAT. Oh no, it is trying to go higher here. TSAT would really need to break 13 and then 1335 for this to really be good. There we go. There we go. There we go. TSAT.
Now, one play that I didn't play yesterday that was a really, really good setup and just didn't take it, guys, was FAZ. FAZ, nice move now to 1750s. I wanted this yesterday at 1680s. So, I mean, we'd be looking really good now. You could see how that recovered 1690s yesterday, went to 17s, now pushing higher. That makes me seem that JPM could go lower. KRE could go lower. Names like that. Look at JPM down already. Let's see if the KRE gets hit today. I talked about this on my Twitter. I talked about how this looks like a head and shoulders pattern here. I'm going to be looking to see if I can short the KRE. It did do a nice little pop right now. Let's see if it does a nice little drop.
So I was able to scalp TSAT there pretty quickly. Looks like this might be going higher. Taking a look at Rigetti here, taking some off the VWAP here at 193. So we'll see here on Rigetti.
Rigetti. I'm willing to play some moo smaller names. So.
Oh, I'm playing this in the regular account.
You guys let me know. How we doing out there with the smaller names? We'll see if the market comes back. It's holding 444s. That seems like a area where the 5-minute candle could go green. Let's see if that happens. We've had a big wick down right out the gate. So I'm keeping an eye on to see if stock's going to actually start going into green now.
I'm thinking Rigetti makes a move towards 2 here, folks. Long sum 194, right around that VWAP. TSAT going higher here, by the way.
Okay.
Rigetti up to 198. There's some size there, and they're hitting it up. Okay, pulled off that spot.
Big wick I'm seeing on Apple as it starts to recover. The SPY starting to recover, and you see a big wick on the Qs. Be careful out there, team. We're seeing a little bit of recovery right now. Looking to see if Microsoft goes green here. Looking around, team. If you guys have anything out there, let me know. Oxy and XOM going green, says Chris, and I'll keep an eye out on the oil names. I sold them, so maybe I sold a little early, Chris. We'll see if energy goes higher. Of course, I'll also take a look at the sectors to see what's leading to the upside. And there you go, Chris. What do you see? You see energy's leading right now, so energy making a nice move to the upside here. We'll see if that can keep pushing. Basic materials are up, communication services, real estate and I'm looking at from the open, not overall. You can see how the change is red there, but the one to the right is percentage change from the open. That's what I like to pay attention to because a lot of people could be tricked by overall change and not paying attention to change from the open.
There was a ton of size at 198 that they took. They're taking more size here at 2. Rigetti's looking good here on 2. I want to see a break above 2 here. Remember, long from 194. Don't have a ton here, so really want to kind of give this some room on Rigetti. There goes 2, 201, 202 now. Let's go, Rigetti. Let's go.
Gold looking good today, so you guys can keep an eye out for that. That actually looks interesting for me to play here. I'm actually looking at GOLD here, maybe off of the 1660s for a move back up to 17 today. Looks like it's trying to hold prior resistance as support. Let's see if it starts to do that.
Oh my
here.
God. I'm sorry, Mitch. Huge size on Rigetti at 207. Watch that block if they take it. I'm still in this one. There was big size at 205 that literally might as well not have even been there. Buyers just took it. And now there's twice that size at 207. So I want to see what happens when we actually trade up to 207 here. Volume on Rigetti looks good. Everything here looks good. Long and strong. Let's see what happens on a pop above 207 on Rigetti. Ticker RGTI.
All right, I'm looking at NUG right now. NUG.
Stop on Rigetti at 2 so that it doesn't go red against me. TSAT really kind of reversing hard here. Careful with that one. I think Rigetti goes higher here, but not going to let the trade go red. Can always rebuy if it stops me out. There we go, Rigetti. Right. Come on, Rigetti. Come on, Rigetti. This is a fun stock. We trade this well most of the times we trade it. It flashed some huge size at 7 there. I do want to look around for some other stuff. Let's put Eton on a different window here. Eton really just kind of disappointing so far. Rigetti stopped me out, by the way, so we'll wait for this to set up again through 206, 207. Seems to be the spot. Smoke Tuna is just all over the ticker. Smoke Tuna, what part of the world are you in today, my friend? RX, this actually does look good. Great call. This actually looks like this is coming off the bottom here. This one's quite a wild mover. You also had QBTS. We talked a little bit about some of those quantum names earlier. QBTS spiking here.
I'm hesitating here, guys, and I'm not going to take the trade now because I already noticed I'm hesitating. I'm hesitating on NUG. I had a chance to buy that at 31.90s in the Moomoo account. Didn't take it. It's already up there to 32.12s, 32.13s. It looked like a hell of a good buy there on that pullback there. So it's just kind of one of those moments where I noticed I'm hesitating, and now I'd be chasing if I jump into the name. So now I just got to wait for pullbacks. We'll see what happens on NUG. Gold looked good today, GOLD, so maybe I can switch, but I looked for some leverage. Going back to you, Ryan.
All good. Actually clearing away some stuff.
NUG. Silver up today, steel up today, coal up today. BTU gave me that pullback yesterday. I didn't take the shot there because I wanted to see what happened today out the gates. It's holding pretty well. Coal is up, so I actually don't mind this outlook here on BTU. All right, I'm going to look for a 2270 pullback here. Quick pullback to try to get in on BTU. I want to buy about half there. So looking for a little pullback in BTU.
Sorry about that. Rigetti, back to 2, so we'll see. Nice. Tuna AMRS buying the pulls. That's what I like to see. Now up huge. Way to go, Smoke Tuna. I'm finally back in the south of France. Okay, and you're back and you're making bank. That's exactly what I want. God, this is awesome. What a good Friday. TGIF, baby. Let's go. Sorry, Mitch. I'll try to temper my excitement.
Oh, you can do it. You're a savage trading a 13-11 cent stock. Savage.
Yeah, I mean, hey.
Hey, dude, I call him how I see it.
Exactly. That's exactly.
I call him how I see it, and I'd say that's savage. Savage. But hey, money's money, man. And
money, yeah. If it's green, bro, if the money's green, it's good.
You know what I say.
The money's green, it's good. Eton may be trying to bounce. I don't know, though. TSAT really struggling.
Do you guys remember the Vince McMahon song when he used to come in?
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
There comes Rigetti coming up again.
Oh, Vince McMahon. That guy gets the money. That's for sure.
He looks weird now.
Probably has some robot in him. A little bit of AI.
Trying some Rigetti here again at 205.
Well, Upstart bounced today. It's bouncing, guys. It's bouncing. Upstart gave a nice little rocket back up. Is this a trap? I don't know today, guys. All I can say is that I'm keeping an eye on what's going on with the SPY and the Qs, and we're still leaking down. So that's why I'm not taking the shots yet to the upside, but eventually I might. Upstart gave that nice little rocket, though, right out the gates. It looks like a trap, but I don't know, man. What do you guys think? Look at that candle. That was a nice little candle here on the right-hand side. Still seeing the SPY, though, leaking. I'm seeing the MACDs not looking good there. So I'm using a little bit of the MACD to help me also when I'm looking for turnaround. What's the MACD? Of course, we're talking about the moving average convergence divergence, and it uses the 12 and the 26 moving average with an exponential 9. And you guys know I hear talk about always the exponential 9 moving average. I'm going to be looking to see what happens. When does that dark blue line cross that light blue line back up to the upside? Especially you don't like it also when it's in the negative. You want it to cross 0. That's really a nice little threshold. That's where momentum really starts. But we'll see what happens there on Upstart. It is pulling back. Will it get back there below 32s?
Out Rigetti here on that next move up. Let's go. It's 2 for 2 on Rigetti today. 3 for 3 overall.
Hey, you just keep focusing, Ryan, and do what you do best, my friend.
I'm going to try. You bet your ass. Use some of those profits to add to, used some of those profits, by the way, now that I'm out, to add to one of my longer term positions in Portillo's, which is down and has been down since earnings. So let me show you the strategy here real quick. Mitch, if you need to interrupt me, please do so.
By all means.
If we take a look at Portillo's, they reported earnings. I still really like it. I really think that the management either has something up their sleeve or is not doing the best job at the moment. The price movement in the stock does not reflect what I see when I go to the actual restaurants themselves. So I'm not ready to give up on this plan. I've been adding. So my cost average is up to 1930. So I'm a little bit underwater. So now that it's going down, what I'm doing is I'm adding in little bits here. In fact, I just added 50 shares here. I didn't really add a whole lot, but I basically took profits that I was making from my other trades and then rolled them into a long-term profit. I'm trying to buy this when it's down, not when it's up. Like when you could see some of these other sell-offs here, this is when I was actually buying it, and then all of a sudden it rips back up. So I'd really like to see that happen. Really like to see a move through 25 on Portillo's, and then I'll probably stop adding. But just trying to use some of the profits towards my longer-term position. Just kind of, we call that rotation, right? Rotating out of shorter-term trades into longer-term trades.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
Watching BTU for the longer term swing. And right now it's on the pullback. So I'm not taking the shot right now, but I'm keeping an eye on it, team. I would love for it to like do another bottoming towards 22.60.
Spaghetti. Rigetti keeps going higher. I'm not in this right now, but I've already made some money on it, so no complaints. Excuse me.
Money talks.
Money always talks, baby.
Oh, I like getting all the money ones. I think I have pretty much every one that's out there. All the little money noise. Let's go, baby.
ACHR almost a complete round trip here.
Ryan said today.
I've been waiting for this.
Qs look weak. Yeah, they look weak, man, but they're also double bottom there. So it's like I'm looking to see where the momentum's going. Right now, it's nothing. It's kind of like in between up, down, up, down, up, down in the indexes. And that's another reason why I'm kind of just taking it easy right now. All right, let's keep going, team. We'll see what else is going on. What does R75?
Rigetti, guys.
Great success.
Rigetti,
Great
huge
success.
move here. A huge move here up to 230. We probably have another
Wow, is very nice.
one. We played drops over
No
each other.
worries.
Sorry.
We loved it. We love it. Hey, it's all good. You enjoy that. That's what I love to see. My man's killing it today, guys. Ryan said,
I wish.
keep going, Ryan. You got
I was
it.
gonna say. I wish I was still in Rigetti. Big move is actually coming right now.
Hey.
Alexa, you're welcome. Also asking any thoughts on NVO. Yeah. So I definitely have some thoughts on this one. So Novo Nordisk, this is going to be one of the companies that's making those weight loss drugs, the semaglutide drugs. I believe theirs is Wegovy. There's Ozempic, Mounjaro, Wegovy. There's several of them. Definitely bullish on these. I actually think that when some of this volatility is over, meaning when this comes back in, finds some support, and then moves again, I think there's likely going to be another huge move in some of these drug stocks. Eli Lilly, NVO, and we were talking yesterday about VKTX. This is I am swinging this, but I'm swinging it via options, and they're not really, very expensive options, but this is another name in that field that I'm long. So I have no position in NVO, really like that, along with any of the other companies that do the semaglutides. Great question, though. PGY, great call. PGY through the VWAP here on volume too. The volume's not the greatest, but still a nice move. Let me bring up PGY. Let's see what we're doing here. I don't want to buy this spike. I'd really like this to come back in, but we're about to. Yeah, that's new intraday highs right there. 268 would mark a new one if we get it. PGY, big reversal here for anyone that grabbed that. Rigetti is still going. Rigetti 225 right now. That was a great trade, folks.
Upstart bouncing back today, guys. So you momentum players definitely jumping on that today. I can see that. That didn't even come back to VWAP right there. So that just shows you the strength on it today. And that's just how it goes sometimes, right? And so you could see some reversals on some of the names that were hit hard today. We'll see if names like Carvana get a pickup today. We'll see if those start to push. There's Carvana trying to make a move to 39.40s. So it looks like we're getting a little bit of reversal here. Qs just did kind of like a triple bottom on the 5-minute. Take that as you want, right? But I do see some bottoming action there a lot on the Qs. We'll look to see if we start to get an up move here. I'm still not playing it, but it's starting to look like we're starting to get a little bit of strength here. Look at Microsoft starting to recover. I'd look at Apple to see if that recovers. Google recovers. The bigger names, right? If those stay strong, be careful. Those have been leading down. We'll see if they recover. So I'm keeping an eye on a lot of them, but you can see here the Qs and kind of how this tripled bottomed right around this area, this 365, 18s, 25s. You can maybe round it to, but now if it doesn't go below 365, looks like there's a lot of bottoming in wicks there. Could be tricks to the downside, but also we're staying within the range. So I'm looking to see if we can really get out of this range, right? That's why I've been kind of slow to the move today versus jumping on the move. You're seeing, let's see how like Soxel is trading here. And sorry about that, guys. For some reason, it's not going to the active.
Mitch, we're going to need you to step in and buy up the Qs, provide some support, please. Over.
365. I think someone's already maybe done that when that wick through came through. And I like to see a lot of times wicks are tricks, right? So that could have been that wick through. and a lot of volume sitting below that level. Now you're seeing it come back. The key is, does it take 366.50s? If it just goes one big bar up there, that shows me a lot of strength. That's why I'm also keeping an eye on what's the right here, socks out. And so we'll look to see if that can get a little bit of a push here. And of course, it's not always going to be straight down. That's why a little part of me thinks that we could bounce back. Of course, keep your eyes on NVIDIA. That stock is wicked. And the way that when it comes back, it usually has a strong tendency. So we'll see if that can make the little lift. So I'm being patient, and what I have the SPY on an hourly candle, looking to see if the hourly candle goes green. There's BTU back towards 2250s. Doesn't look too bad here.
Eton made a nice little pop there towards the VWAP. Maybe it does that again. Try some Eton here. We'll see.
All right, let's go back to the main charts. Let's check the sectors and the industries. Let's see what's starting to change. And what I always look for is what goes from red to green. Technology is red right now. Cyclicals are red. And then barely green, basic materials, industrials, financials, defensives, utilities. All those are like just barely green. Let's see where these go. And if we're going to start getting kind of an overall sector move here. Energy still leading to the upside. So let's see if these defensives get a lift today, or what's going to be the one that really starts to drive second here. You got communication services. I talked about how that seemed like the only sector, at least that looked interesting to me on the dailies, but not much that I can trade there, or not much that I do trade there. So I'll leave that alone. Utilities starting to get back up there, but like I said, I need to see one kind of lead. Here's third place, real estate coming up again today. And there's some smaller names getting a move there. WeWork is one of those that I'll give you guys right off the VWAP right now. And that's the penny play as it gets there on WeWork. Actually, I don't mind this play today. I might take a shot on the cheapest stock I've taken in a long time.
More like WeWorked, am I right?
Yeah, I'm.
That company's going bankrupt.
You know, when Mumu gives me access to buy 2,000 shares of anything, this is cheap, man.
It's fun when you're in the small account. You're like, I'm picking up 1,000 shares, 2,000 shares. It's like, yeah, small account. Let's go, baby.
I don't even think I can do that, guys. That just sounds like recipe for disaster. That's the day that fucking WeWork disappears, and then my account's locked up for fucking like 3 months.
Let's not do that.
Yeah, let's not do that one. Let's keep some money and be smart here. But off the VWAP there, oh, it looked good there. It was like 25s already. It's already to 26. And you know, you snooze, you lose. So, but it looks interesting. I'm not gonna lie. The setup seemed good. And why? Because you look to the left and you see resistance, and you see it starting to hold as support right on the VWAP line. So,
new
to me,
highs on Rigetti. That is not done yet.
Oh, T-Pain Ryan over here
That's
today.
right. We're going all out today. It's a Friday.
Uh-oh. You know what that means, guys.
Rigetti is still going, guys. This is wild.
It's a party today, guys.
Oh, it's a big party.
All right. SS Trade says, I made 600 on WeWork yesterday. Laugh out loud. Meme stock. Yeah, it's meme stock day, I guess, guys. BTU. Take a look. Ooh, that did recover really well there. Thanks for the heads up, man. I don't mind taking this shot. Let me step up to the plate, at least on Mumu. Let me go for BTU here. All right, I'm going to take half right now. Hold on. Just got a little pullback opportunity. The bid went way too quickly there. All right, let's see if I get 72s right now. Trying to put my order in between, and boom, just got hit there. So I got just my first entry, half entry there on BTU right now. So half entry right here at 72. Now I'm going to be looking for the pullback a little bit further because I want to be, if I want to add, I want to be as close to this 56 as possible. So now I can look for maybe like a higher low continuing, right? And so I can draw this trend line like this, and I can look for it to come to that level. And that's where I want to add my other half. Somewhere in like maybe 2260s, 2255s. Those are going to be the levels that I'll be looking for that nice little break. And then eventually we got to recover this kind of opening trend line. Right back up here, back through 2280s and 23s would be a really good outlook on BTU.
Rigetti's going to go through 50. Guys, who traded Rigetti today? I'm still watching E-Time here.
Rigetti.
This is actually coming back in, but I'm talking about Rigetti. Who traded this today? Cleo.
Who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that?
All right, Rigetti through 250. Any of you folks that traded Rigetti today, let me know what your entry and exit was. I'm sorry about my bird. I don't know what's going on.
It's all good, man. But somebody said, seems like it's a dog day today, guys. Who let the dogs out today, guys? Because it seems like the dogs are out and they're barking.
SS trades, that's awesome. Let me know when you close that trade, bro. Let me know what your entry's 175. Give me the stats on that when you close it. Lex 218 to 236, bang. Rigetti 2 to 230, bang. Oh, guys, let's go.
All right, order to add on BTU is out at 22.58. I'll look to see if it close back to it. But if it just takes 23, I'm not going to be mad about it. But now I know that I can take my shot, and I'm doing it more on the intraday count chart of 2250s. So that's where the risk will be if I do get that add. And then I can just risk down right below that, like maybe 22.48, put a stop there, let the stock try to work back through 23s today. And this would be a good swing trade outlook on Moo. Show you guys that in a little while, but taking a shot there, trying to bounce back into small account, man. Been in a little bit of a chop there in the last like 2 weeks. And so just got to work through it, right? That's what it's all about. But the key, losing very, very small. That's what I'm going to keep battling in.
Dude, you played Rigetti calls? Let's go. I played the 250 call from 2 to 250 for 120%. Let's go. Using options on the small names to make bank.
Valero, how's that doing? Ooh, nice little upside move. Looks like I'm missing out on some of that oil trade as XOM right back up there to 110.80s. Oil still at the top of the board there and pushing. All right, so remember I was talking about how there's things that were just slightly green. Now we have things that are starting to get towards that green. You got healthcare starting to come back up. Drug manufacturers are doing well right now. And so you have names that are doing well there. I even see Tilray. Why is Tilray moving today? I don't know, but I'll tell you one thing. It's showing up on my scanner. So Tilray made that nice little move there towards 274. We'll see what happens on that one, but it is getting a little bit lift. There is some stocks there that are pushing. So some drug manufacturers, some specialty names. Let's go to the higher names there to see what's actually leading this move higher. Teva doesn't look too bad. I haven't traded Teva in forever, man. I used to trade this stock often.
Me too. I used to trade Teva a lot. It was much higher when I used to trade it.
Yeah, let's just say that much. It was much higher.
By the way,
healthcare plans doing well, and the rest of healthcare.
Speaking of healthcare, shout out to Jay Rice here. Gave us an Ari at 55 live in the chat one day, 65, 67 now after a good report. This looking like this is actually going to break out too, Jay. I would imagine you're looking for higher here, maybe even up towards an 80 handle. I don't know.
All right, how's our SPY doing here? Hourly candle. That's what I really want to watch. Hourly candles might go green, and so this is what I've been waiting for to see what would happen. Would we get that move to 442.50? We still haven't gotten it, but we did get some early downside action Will we get that move down towards 442s? It still hasn't recovered VWAP, so be careful out there, traders. We are still seeing that Qs not up above VWAP either. That still looks bearish to me, but there could be a lot of volume filling in underneath right now. Let's see if those levels get driven down. That's 365 takeout on the Qs. And of course, we'll look for BTU to kind of pull back here and give me that extra fill. All right, looking around, guys, and I see back to the leadership in the red. That scares me a little bit. That tells me that we could get this downside move. Apple not recovering, Microsoft not recovering, Tesla not recovering. And that's what we want to see recover, right? Maybe Google, the strongest one out of all the bunch. Amazon, kind of a little bit of a bull trap there on Amazon. We'll see if it recovers, but that's really trappy when the stock goes up like that through pre-market highs and then comes right back down. That's how you trap a lot of the 1 minute traders. Tesla, we'll see if it rejects 240 50s, but it's gotten down to that 240 level where I thought the pullback on Tesla could go. I had this level drawn since June 15th, updated it on what? On the 7th, just recently. On the 7th, I was looking to see if we'd go to this 240 spot. We're holding that spot right now. This could be a logical spot to stop before the gap down below. If not, the gap could get filled. The gap fill is down towards a move on a high of 235.23s.
Wow. Jay, you're thinking Nari 290 or 100, bunch of catalysts the second half of the year. Wowzors. That would be something else.
Nari,
huh?
I mean, the chart doesn't look bad. At least I'll tell you that.
No,
much.
it sure doesn't.
I like monthly charts on like stocks like this where it's not a very volatile name. It's a very kind of measured move. Why? Because let's just be honest. What do institutionals and some of the higher, let's say financial names are going to probably use? They're going to use the monthly chart. So I'd use monthly charts to show me where the breakout levels seem to be lying here. And you can see that it sets up for a move back above 66.30, 66. So then I'd go on the weeklies and be like, okay, you can see the recent drive. It did a nice move above 66, now below 66 and recovering that level. Now I'd go to the daily, even faster, even closer. Now I'm seeing, okay, we've come right back up. Looks like we could start playing here resistance. I'd look for pullbacks closer towards the 62 because I don't like to buy at the highs, right? I always look for pullbacks. I'd look for maybe this to start doing a little bit of sideways consolidation before it actually wants to go through 70. And that's going to be the big breakout move, I feel like, on the weeklies. So that could come back towards maybe even 63s, but I'd look for higher lows on the weeklies and look for a move eventually to really get going. It's not a bad looking chart.
I closed Eton, very small gain there. Rigetti, yeah, Rigetti's pulling. That's good though. But taking Rigetti on pulls might give you another opportunity to trade. I'm kind of waiting for it to come back into the VWAP.
Keeping my eye on BTU, starting to see that it looks like it wants to test right back down. So let's see if I finally get that test one more time, and then it comes back up through the 2280s. So I see BTU, guys. We'll see if it comes right back up. I'm getting an alert here for MRO. Marathon oil is one way that I could still play this move. Why? Because it's lagging behind the move. And this looks to me like nice little curving action off of this level. So not looking too bad here on MRO today as it gets to lift above 2650s for pullback. Seems to make sense for me. So I'll look to see if I can get that 2650 pullback and then maybe risk off the 2640s here on MRO. This could be the oil play that I get back in.
Gavaletti saying, is Buffett still in Portillo's? Buffett has 2 T's, and I don't think he owns Portillo's. If he did, that'd be amazing. If he doesn't, I'd love him to just come in and buy a whole bunch. The volume bar would literally be like the entire month If he did that, that would be really great for me. So I don't know. I don't think he's in it, but that'd be awesome. SS Trades monster trade on Rigetti. Great job here this morning. Your day is done. What a Friday. Smoke Tuna. I don't know if you were around yesterday. I actually did take some of this via the calls. Took the September 17 calls. It was one of those calls that had a whole bunch of open interest. So it should be liquid if the stock moves up there, and I should be able to sell these for a profit if the trade does work. But VKTX, I like this. I like the setup. Love the calls that you were making yesterday. Long some of this for a swing via options.
All right, taking some shots. Shot. That type of day, it seems like. How did Upstart do now? All right, let's take a look there. Pull back to the VWAP held on the 5 minutes, playing around for that 33 break. Definitely volatile today. If you're looking for stock that you can make and lose a lot of money, both sides is definitely Upstart today, and that thing's moving. So sometimes I just like to bring up the biggest mover, because the truth is that's a pretty significant move today on Upstart. We'll see if it gets back up there. And of course, this is a stock that's been drilled down. There's that nice move for BTU. So I'm feeling a little bit more confident now as we start getting above the VWAP. Could look for pullbacks to exactly my entry to maybe add the half back instead of that 58 add. But I'll probably just leave it there. If I do get the add on an extreme pullback, I'll leave that in. Now really looking for BTU to end the day above 23s. Give me this candle green, and this chart looks great. Big thing we'll be looking back to see if we can come back through these highs, 23.75s, 23 or 24s, back up there. And this chart's looking great.
Alexa saying TSAT looks interesting. Indeed, I actually already scalped this one for some decent money this morning. Would like to hit it again. If it can really kind of hold this, if it looks like it just yanked down to about 1190 and bounced. If it can really kind of hold this, maybe we could take the VWAP out at 1272. It's wild. It's all over the place. So just be careful on that one.
Netflix trying to recover here. SPY just made a quick move to the upside, guys. So be careful. We're starting to get some up action here. Let's see if the Microsoft can recover and really make that up move. I see a lot of volume coming in Microsoft right now. So that one might be something that I can actually see getting a little bit of a bounce. Also, of course, I've talked about how Tesla had that support, that daily support underneath it. That actually also looks interesting for me today. So I'm going to be looking for some pullback here. Maybe taking some shots to the upside. Who knows? Why not? Stock salads look interesting also.
Took 100 shares of TSAT here. I'm waiting in case it drops. Very, very small. They're kind of layering and scaling in here on TSAT. We'll see if this can actually curl and move. If it doesn't, I'll just be out and wait for it to set up again. I don't want to give back all the money I already made on it.
There's Upstart going for that 33 break to the upside. So names like that, they're actually getting the lift again today. ARKK names, those types of names, right?
Seems
like it's a risk on type of day. Ooh, look at this move in this China name. I don't know what the hell is going on here, but TWOU, straight up, and that's a Kathy Wood
that's
name.
A big staircase right there.
Yeah, 20% move there on a $3 stock. You don't see that often. Even DNA is going back, baby. DNA getting a little bit of a lift. We talked about this one yesterday, but you see a lot of the Kathy names, risk on type of day. You see Roku up like that, right? Names like, let's say, like Shop, Unity, those types of names. I could see you get a little bit of some momentum if we can keep pushing. Coin trying to go back up to the upside. Zoom. So you see how these are the like kind of momentum names. We'll see if they can get the lift. Twilio trying to make a little bit of a push here. Disney pulled back fast today and went to that 90. So it was a nice little daily pullback already. So that actually looks pretty measured there. I feel like you're getting some institutional action on Disney.
TSAT trying to bounce here. Come on, TSAT. Let's make a move. My average is 1209.
I know what I should be buying. Move. I know what I should be buying. I'm gonna go for it. And I'm gonna go for it in the Moo account. I'm gonna go for a bigger win here.
What are you going for?
You ready for this? Hold on
Yeah.
to your pants. I'm trying to
Hey.
get.
Grabbing my pants, Mitch.
I'm trying to get pen here, man.
Oh, here
Pen.
we go.
I'm trying to get pen. Closest to 24 as possible. It's about to give me that look right now. Perfect. I might be able to get 24 right on the key.
Rigetti snapped its VWAP to the downside. Yeah. I don't know. LOL. Great handle. Great handle. I'm with you there. TSET it's really, really wild. It's all over the place. It's why I'm going so small on the shares. I don't really want to deal with it either. And if it breaks this low here, I will probably be out. I just don't want to. I don't want to get stop hunted, right? I don't want to have it dip and then rip and on the dip stop me out. I'd rather just kind of do it manually. And I have such a small position that I won't get myself in a lot of trouble here. I won't be able to retire from this trade, but I won't get myself in a lot of trouble. Playing defense first, let the profits come.
Sometimes that's okay, man.
Mitch, honestly, I do my best trading when I have a defensive mindset because
Exactly.
you can't predict what's going to go. And if you're playing defense, you're not going to allow yourself to really get hurt. And then sometimes lightning strikes and one of your positions just goes bananas and you just ride that.
I like it. I like the outlook too. Go bananas, man.
SS Trades totally got that from you. Just an absolutely amazing trade. Really appreciate that. I love when we identify things on the scanner and then they work for everyone in the chat. That's my favorite. Those are my favorite plays. Sorry.
Opened it up there in the Mumu account, so you guys can see it really quickly here, right on the screen there. You guys see Penn and BTU taking the shot. Took my first starter there in Penn. Going to look for a little bit lower, below 24s to add. Hold towards 2350s. This is a little bit of a longer term swing for me where I feel I could ride it for a couple of days if I could get the trend to change back to the upside. And we'll see what happens there. Taking a shot, guys. All right, let's go towards the SPY also. I'm finally seeing Penn pull back a little bit more. I'd look for like maybe 2380s to maybe add this, but I'm going to give it a chance to pull back here. SPY's pulling back to the VWAP. Microsoft right back down. It's a little bit of a choppy day to the upside. I think Apple has some strength if you're looking for maybe like what candle put like some pretty strong strength right now. I'm looking for a little pullback here in Apple. See if it wants to start making an upside move. Of course, Apple's been already drilled down already. You can see from the high on Apple down to where we are, this is already kind of like a 10% retracement, 10% correction. So a lot of bottoming action on the daily chart right around the 177.20s. So this actually looks like it's trying to reverse on the daily. I actually like this for the swing today. Of course, I got to go for the little bit more higher account here, but I'm liking it. All right, I'm going to take a little bit here. 177.50s area. I got 177.53s. Now I'm going to look for the add back down to this 177.25 area, but we're already getting a good reaction there on Apple. I like the daily level and look at that reaction already. So I took a little bit of a starter there on the swing, not looking too bad. As Apple starts to get this up move, we can start looking to see some stocks actually get strong here. I'm even thinking about Microsoft right now and then risking off the 320 area, which is a really tight area to risk off of right now. And then I can maybe take a shot back towards a reversal to the upside. We'll see what happens there if it starts to get the lift now. Not a bad one to take a shot on also. I'm going to take the shot there. I'm going to go a little bit bigger on this one than Apple. I went full size at 320.36. So now I have two tech names and I really got to watch the cues, make that upside move. I'm looking for it to hold VWAP now and make a nice upside move to 367. So why 367? Look to the left, right? Where's resistance come into play? Right above this kind of 366. We failed in the pre-market. I want to see if we can recover that and really get strong here through that towards 367. I can even take off this. So this is kind of the range right now. Don't want it to break 365.91s. Want it to get through that upside action, start making its way up. There's Microsoft already. Good action there on Microsoft. I'm glad I went full size there. Apple already making good moves here. I'm going to look to see if Tesla could recover that daily level. 240.34 looks like it's holding there well too. Honestly, I could go into Tesla too, but I feel like I'm starting to push if I do that. Another way to play this is maybe go TQQQ, right? We play the SQQQs a lot of the times. Why not TQQQ outlook? I think this actually looks pretty interesting here. And like always, you guys choose your own levels, choose your own outlook, but I'm starting to see the market get a little bit of a push, and that could help some of the smaller trades too.
Yep, absolutely. I'm still watching TSAT here because it really looks like it's kind of found a bottom right along here, right along this 1182, and I'm looking for a push back. Here's through 12. Let's see if we can go higher here. By the way, Rigetti bouncing back towards its VWAP. Good call, Jay. TNGX moving up. Mitch, if you want to chart TNGX, I know it just had a push up, so we'd kind of be chasing right now. I'm still waiting out TSAT here, then I'll move on to something else. I'm long just a couple of hundred shares. Really want to see this push above.
All right, I'm going to try to control myself on jumping too much. So I just even stopped myself from adding on pen right here. I told myself where I add. Let's take it easy. I'm going to you. What was the stock that we're looking at?
TNGX.
Got you. I'll take a look there. Tango Therapeutics. Tango.
I mean, look at this move that it's putting in today, Mitch.
It's on the tango, man. Definitely. So I'd look at 15-minute pullbacks to 8. That's just like right off the bat. Like just trying to do it as quick as possible analysis just because it's already ripping. I'd look for a quick little dollar pullback here towards prior resistance. Also, you can look at the hourly chart here, and you can see how this kind of came back through the hourly chart, created a rounding bottom there, and then really broke out above the 7s. Now you're going back towards this resistance here. It really needs to get above that 908 and hold, but you could get a little bit of a pullback action. So I'd be looking for pullback action there and see if it comes back towards these levels on the 15-minute. And you can see here, there's a little resistance around the 806. Let's see if it comes back to this level, but 908 is what you want to see it hold. If you're already in it, $9, take that next level up. And another thing to do, easy outlook, right? Measure the flag pattern. I love to do that all the time. So I measure the flag pattern here. It's about $4. If I broke out at 7, where does $4 take me? It could take me all the way to 11, right? And so that's what the way I'd be looking at as top outlook on the upside. Of course, that's a very rosy outlook, but I'm just going off of base the chart technicals, man. Sometimes they work, guys. Sometimes they work.
Whole market bouncing here. That bounce is continuing, Mitch. Rigetti through that VWAP now, too.
Money Mitch, so much for a no risk day. And I was saying it, bro. You know, one thing I'll try to always keep us like on both sides, right? And you saw the flip, right? That's where the psychology comes in. What did I want to see today? Red to green move. I didn't call it, you know, to the key to 442 today, but we're getting that red to green move now, right? Trying to squeeze out some of the shorts, right? And this is how the market loves to do it to us. So just be careful out there, team, as we get this lift. Microsoft is already giving me a big push. Remember, I told you Microsoft is a very big indicator for me that this market wants to come back. I've been waiting to see if Microsoft can change its tune on the daily. Now it's giving us kind of like this hammer candle from the bottom. Where will this candle end on the daily is going to be very important. Microsoft with a nice little lift. And the swing trades and now pen deep into my favor, at least starting to get back up there. That's looking good there. BTU's looking good. Also 2288s. So I actually took 2 swing trades with my small account, Ryan.
Okay. So it was what were the tickers? They were small price.
Pen
Oh no, it was
and
Pen.
BTU. Pen and BTU.
Okay, so you took.
You know, sometimes, you know what, I hear so many traders say that we can't trade this.
Because they want more shares. They don't want
dude,
5
they're
shares.
addicted to not understanding that. I tell you the truth about percentages when you're playing small accounts. Play the percentage game. The percentage game is going to help you guys. So even with $600, I'm able to get 2 stocks here and could get some really nice lift, right? A buck up, $2 up. I'll take it. This is how I like to play sometimes. And I'm trying to play with a smaller and smaller and try to learn more and more about smaller size, how to play with smaller size, and yet make decent money. You can still do it, team. I just like to show that to traders. I feel like a lot of traders say that they never can do that.
Yeah,
BTU really starting to get going here.
Mitch, just full disclosure, I struggle with that. When I'm dealing with a smaller account, I often don't want to buy higher price names because I just feel like I can't get the leverage that I want. So I'll look for stocks that are more, and it's the wrong thing to do because if you have a good thesis, the price shouldn't matter. Like you were saying, it's all about the percentage.
Yeah, and give yourself room, right? There's so many times you even hear me say, oh, I didn't give myself enough room. What was that? That's probably too big of share size, right? And I think that that's what's so important. Keep the share size in your favor. Always understand how you can do that and keep the upper end. All right, there we go. We're starting to see a little bit of a lift off here. Can Apple really lift? I'm looking for Apple really to push. I was wondering why I was up so little, and then I realized, oh yeah, half position, Mitch. You didn't get the full position. But Microsoft pushing strong there for me. We'll see if that can keep going. It got to the 322s. At this point, what we want to see is it start to recover hourly levels and really start getting back through these. So first level that kind of shows up for me is around this 322.33s. Then from there, we'll go to the next level of 323.17s. And then we can really be back into kind of a bullish trend. We'll see if Microsoft can get up to those levels. I'll show you that right now on the chart. And so I'm looking back to the left on the hourly, looking for what was support. Will it act as resistance this time? And can we get above those levels and start holding that? If that does happen, this is starting to give us a bullish reversal from the bottom. And Microsoft is pushing there. I'm glad I took the shot. Normally, you guys don't see me take too many shots on like Apple and Microsoft at the same time. But it felt to me like we were starting to get that really strong momentum.
Jay giving us a really good saying here. Volatility equals trade smaller and wider stops. Those are two things that you can do as a trader, regardless of your balance, that will help you trade volatile names. And I mean, you've seen it. You've seen it in here. You've seen us do it. You've seen Jay do it. You've seen other chat members do it. I do it all the time. Reduce the size if I'm going to trade. That's what I'm doing on TSAT here. It's volatile as hell, so I don't have very much, and I have wider stops. I'm not going to get flushed out of my position. I'm not going to be shaken.
And Mystery, sorry to hear you're struggling out there. I'll address it. It's okay. We all struggle sometimes.
Yep,
Try to
myself.
find what happened. Remember, one of my questions that I talk about when we struggle, is it execution errors or process errors? That question alone is really going to help you understand how you can make improvements. Am I making just executional errors and just not getting in where I'm supposed to get in, not getting out where I'm supposed to get out? Or is my process wrong? If my process is wrong, then that's a little bit bigger change. That's something that we need to just go back and maybe fix our process. So ask yourself that question. Can really help you gain some actual learning lessons from the losses, right? If you really push yourself, you can learn from those losses. Microsoft continuing, and I'm just going to look for the lift off here. Let's see if we get continued lift off. Q's just continuing to lift off there. That's why today would be one of those days that I might look at a stock like this, SMCI. We'll see if this reverses off the bottom. It has a lot of daily levels right off of this level. And a lot of times where I'm looking to see reversals is daily levels that look like they could act as support. And so in the intraday, it looks really bearish. But if you just looked at the daily chart, this looks like daily support. And I think that this happens often where traders look at short-term timeframes. They think this is very bearish action on the day because technically it is. I mean, just on the intraday. But on the daily, it's actually showing that there's some support right here around the 260s.
So Rustam is asking if I've seen that commercial where all of the Ryans meet on a Ryan day. And at the end, they said, I love that commercial. That is relatable AF, especially the Brian portion of it. Amazing.
I like it. I like it. Oh, man. Oh, Ryan, just the markets are hot right now. So I'll save this for a little bit later, maybe closer towards 11. But did you see the Yankee when Boone got thrown out the other day? I think it
Oh
was
yeah, where he was yelling at the umpire, and then he was
Oh, it's so
he drew
hilarious.
the path of the pitch
It
outside of the
was so
plate. Oh
hilarious,
man.
man. I gotta bring this in a little bit. We'll digress in a little while, guys. Before we get out of here, I'm gonna show you what's some of the things that I look at in sports that I just crack up about. There's a lot of like dumb stuff in the internet these days, but I like looking at like content like John Boy and stuff like that. I like it.
The best ever was the minor league baseball coach that acted like he was in Nam and crawled around and threw the base
Oh,
like a grenade. I mean,
like
that
a
is an
grenade.
all-time. That is an all-time.
And then
I mean, it's just so good.
I can't say I haven't been there before. I sometimes get a little frustrated with umpires. Let's just say that.
Yeah. I was an umpire, so I know how it goes. I umpired Little League for years. One of my first jobs, actually.
That's actually interesting. I don't think I knew that about you, right?
It was fun. I mean, it was fun. I mean, one of my favorite thing when I was younger, one of my favorite things to do was throw out angry coaches. Just point, give them the gate, see you later.
See ya.
One guy we actually had to call the police because he waited and it was like waiting in the parking lot and yelling. And police had to come and escort. It's a mess. People get way too into that stuff.
Woo-hoo. Yeah, we're starting to see some reversals out there. And I think that you're seeing a lot of stocks picked on daily support. Look at this eBay. You see how this eBay has a lot of daily support? Then you look at the price action right now. Look how strong it's bouncing up. This is something that I'm seeing right now. This is a quick pattern recognition that I could be wrong on, but it's something that I'm seeing. And I'm always going to try to give you guys that because that could actually bring you guys edge if you guys look for it and can confirm it. So look around to see if you're seeing stocks that are holding daily supports and are having quick momentum reversal action. That shows me that maybe you're seeing buying off of daily supports and you're seeing reversals today. I think some people saw it already and saying Boone getting savage. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah,
Little League parents are brutal, says Marie.
Marie's right. They are. And I'm willing. Marie, you're a doctor, right? So I'm willing to bet you meet some of these people in the doctor's office. They're absolutely crazy, and it's almost like they're living vicariously through the kids, right? They're trying to compete through the kids, and they just get so fired up. And it's like oh man, I mean, I got stories. Umpiring's fun though.
I'm actually watching Little League baseball right now. The Little League World Series is going on. I always love watching it because I don't know. To me, it's really fun to see competition, right? So they're super competitive when we're 12. You see 12-year-old boys. Oh man, they're super competitive, man. All right. Well, everything going in the favor for me, man. Every trade that I've taken today, just working in the greens, they're kind of swings. So, I'm not really looking to just run towards the profits right now. But BTU now up there to 22.95. Want to see that close above 23s. Also off of daily levels, 90 EMA pullback, recent resistance, act as support. And a little part of me earlier today wasn't going to take this BTU trade until I came back to the daily. And I said, Mitch, stop looking so much at the intraday. What does that daily tells me? That daily tells me if I can risk here, risk really small, look for the move back up to the resistance. That's already a 3-to-1 outlook. So if I get any kind of breakout above this, I'm getting a nice return for a really nice risk. What it's all about in trading in the end. All right. We're not allowed to say brutal during games. Oh, man. Mitch, can you teach how to use the VWAP? The VWAP is a little bit harder nowadays, I think. And this is something that I think I need to start really looking after. I've always talked about the VWAP bounce type of play. VWAP bounce types of plays is, I think Upstart did one of those today. So I'm going to go to that chart. That's continuing, just to mention.
I got stopped out of my second trade on TSAT, by the way.
All right. Thanks for letting us know that, Ryan. So Upstart here. So one thing that we're looking for on VWAP, what does VWAP mean? First of all, let's just go through that, right? That's volume weighted average price. So it's like a moving average with volume put in. The way that it works is that it works for the amount of volume per price tick. So if it ticks up, how much volume is there? If it ticks down, how much volume is there? It takes this huge calculation there, and it's trying to give us an average on the day. A lot of the times there was an old written tale that, let's say, institutions, they had to take the trade at VWAP or below VWAP because that would include that they were getting better than the average price on the day. So you'd used to get judged on that if you were, let's say, an institutional trader. I don't think this really works anymore as much as it used to, but retail traders definitely use it. And since the days of Brian Shannon, you see anchored VWAPs being mentioned, and you're seeing a lot of traders trade with VWAP. And so another thing to keep in mind is that I feel like some of the edge has gone off of the VWAP, but we can still trade it on certain reactions. And the reactions that you want to look for are extreme moves to the upside, not like small moves to the upside, but like a reversal style action. Like you got an upstart today where the daily pattern was really red. And now today we're getting this break right back to the upside. Those are the ones that I'm going to look to see if they can hold the VWAP, because those will be a little bit, have a higher tendency to end right back to the green because it's kind of that reversal action. So you want to be looking at the VWAP to see the stock reverse to that level and then bounce off of that. You can use multiple levels, right? The next layer of support as your risk. And I would use like kind of like this, maybe this 3220s or slightly below that as my risk. As the stock approached here, it approached 3227 VWAP. The low here was 3230s, and it bounced right back to the resistance. So it's not going to be always so exact, but that's how you could have maybe used VWAP to trade this upstart. And then another thing that I'd be looking for is that a lot of times we get 3 attempts to VWAP, and I don't want to see it break down from there. So we'll see if it can hold maybe another attempt towards 3260s and then get back through 3350s. This actually doesn't look too bad, especially also as it keeps climbing and using what? The 9 EMA, that light blue line. That looks good for me. And now I can maybe use that light blue line as a determinant if I need to get out with some profits. There's so many ways to trade, guys. And I know a lot of them, but it's just more along what do you want to use and what matches your personality. All right, let's keep going, guys.
Oh, real quick, Mitch. I got stopped out of TSAT. Look what happened.
TSAT?
Yep, it came down, stopped me, and bang, going right. But this is what all through this sideways motion when I bought. This is what I was waiting for, and I got it. Came down, stopped me, and then went.
Wicks are tricks, man.
It's just it's how it goes, man. It sucks, but it's how it goes.
Yeah, and this is why I like hourly candles on these little smaller names, man, and going really tiny sizing, because of course, as you go on hourly candles, you're not going to be able to do the sizing that probably even Ryan's doing right now, I'll tell you the truth. But like you see off of hourly levels, this looked like it kept coming back towards 1150s, 1130s today. And then you can use the prior close here to look for pullbacks towards that level around 12. And so you can see how it kind of went through that level change right underneath this. This is the kind of the area where I would like to be going buying with small size and risking below. So of course you got to go smaller, but that's probably the way I like to go about it with these smaller names. Doesn't look bad either. The chart looks interesting. You got
yeah,
now you got a couple of drives. And what do you have? You have declining volume, not increasing volume on the downside action. Now I want to see this take out 13, and then 13, 15, 14 comes into play really quickly. So that's why I like to look at those hourly pullbacks. I know Crow and I talk about those all the time.
Rigetti's going again, making a run towards its high at 255, currently at 249. I'm not in it, by the way. TSAT back at its VWAP. Man, I can't believe I got stopped out of that trade. That sucks.
Yeah, Rigetti held VWAP pretty well on the 5-minute. Came right back up. Rigetti. Groupon with a nice little rip up today. People still using Groupon? Let me know, chat. Use Groupon lately?
I don't know if I've ever used Groupon.
I'm not gonna lie. I have. Microsoft pulling back a little bit here, so I'm just keeping a close eye as the Qs did kind of pull back a little bit also. So I'm looking to see if we can just keep grinding up the trend. We got up there to 368, now pulling back. like to see maybe around 366.75s hold here and not even see the move back to the VWAP. I would love to see it not hold VWAP bounce and just kind of keep on the uptrend. But that's, of course, because I'm bullish here and long like Apple and Microsoft. So you see Apple up pretty good, Microsoft up pretty good also. And then if you see here, we're going to look to see if we can get that next move higher. On the Qs, I'm looking for a little pullback here towards kind of the 9 EMA area and then getting that next lift back through 368. See if we get that. It's coming right back to it right now. This is a 5-minute chart. BTU doing great up there back towards 23. So I'm doing pretty decent on that one already, up about 1.28%. And then just going to start trying to keep this working right in my favor, right? And this is one that I could actually look for a bigger move back up through the 24s. And then I'd be making really decent money. And I actually split my money today. So I'm kind of happy about that. Penn, not doing bad either. It's right back at 24s, but I'm going to look for this to kind of hold 2350s on pullback. And if it could just close back above 24s today, I'll be feeling decent off of that daily support. And this is an inverse head and shoulders pattern that has a left shoulder and a right shoulder around 2450s. So this could be an extreme. And I know that I need to get out at 2350s. So I always look for charts a lot of times where I can definitely know the out and also see the return back to the upside. And definitely prayers for Maui for sure. So definitely that's some sad news to hear with the wildfires. You know, I lived in Colorado for a long time, and those wildfires, man, it's definitely a scary thing to deal with. So shout out to Wisdom for even bringing that up. Appreciate you. Definitely a prayer out for Maui. Penn still pulling back. We'll see if that can bounce there. I'm just keeping an eye out. Microsoft with the quick pullback. Will we come right back down, man? This market just play a little bit of a trick game. We'll see. Now I'm looking for VWAP bounces, right? Don't want these to necessarily to go into the red, but just got to know where the risk is and just look for the VWAP bounce to see if we get it. Sorry to hear that, Wisdom. Definitely sorry to hear that, man. RS, definitely appreciate the mention. My favorite trading channel. You know where you're at. Benzinga, of course. Smash the like. All right, we'll see if this market can get back up there. It's definitely on the pullback game, just playing around today. Netflix was on my short outlook, and now it's starting to go lower. Do I take the shot on Netflix short here, guys? What do you guys think? Netflix to the short side? This looks tempting, man. Tempting, to say the least. I don't know. I'm not taking it yet, but the daily chart, just this hourly, looks like it just wants to go to 420s. Guess Netflix knows about the 420 life.
Rigetti's reselling 248, by the way. Yeah, smoke tuna. That's kind of what I was waiting for too on TSAT. I like that chart. Mitch talked about that too. Not in it though. Waiting for Rigetti to snap 248 here. I think that's got to be the spot.
TSAT. Sat. SPCE. What did the SPCE do today? Did that get the lift? Oh, back down. Actually had a good little launch. It went well for them. Guess it didn't go well for the stock, at least. Brad says, come on, market. Need those donations to grow.
Every time we say Rigetti, you think of the Yankees pitcher. LOL. 249, some size here now. Let's see if they take that. Oop, nope. They're going to resell 248 again.
Basic materials going higher now. That's actually getting up there towards the leading sectors is energy and basic materials. Energy just lift off today, guys. So definitely sold my XOM early. And I got to admit to it sometimes, right? I felt a little uncomfortable yesterday. So there's never wrong time to go to profits. But look at that move today at XOM. Should still be in it. You know, I just got a little bit too wary on oil maybe doing a quick little turnaround on me. But look at that move in XOM today. That's a pretty strong move. The one that I really liked on the daily too is Chevron. Now really starting to look strong. Look at this daily on Chevron. That looks pretty strong to me. Nice recovery of 160. I had been trying to play that 160 multiple times, so I didn't play it this time. And you could see it held it to really nice today, up there to 162. MRO is another one that I started looking at today. That this is starting to get back out of the kind of the consolidation. But it's a good move overall. A lot of the moves making a nice little move up. Oxy, Halliburton, SLB. I mean, you call it in oil today. Look how these stocks have been ripping. You want to look at the WeWork? We can take a look at it. Quick little pullback there. I mean, this is in a flag pattern, but you never want to see the trend go down all the way to the bottom of the trend. Because if a trend retraces 100%, at least technically wise, in the books, if I open my technical book back there, 100% retracement means the trend to the left is negated. That's what technical analysis says.
And that's why people call it a round trip.
Yep. It's negated. It's almost like just wipe it clean because you retraced it all. All right, let's keep going, guys. 8XR. I don't even know what the hell that is.
Yeah,
Looking
I
around.
don't recognize that either.
Market's getting a little slow there. Healthcare really take off. That's an area that I wasn't looking at today that really did push up. Healthcare plans really making a move. Clover, baby. I saw a mention of Clover earlier today. CVS with a nice little push higher. ELV with a nice little push higher. Cigna trying to get off the bottom. Remember, I was playing Humana for like a 500 break. This actually still looks good. I just got rid of it because it just wasn't going anywhere. But look at Humana. It's just been slowly grinding, and it got to 500, and it looks like it wants to keep going. Of course, why did I play this one? Because this was just gapping back, and it looked pretty decent there. You saw that inverse head and shoulders on the bottom, and this was really off of the UNH chart, where this drove all healthcare's back. This actually looks pretty strong today. You can see it going up there to the 510 United Health with a nice little lift off. Biotech's pushing. Of course, the bigger names, you guys can catch some of those. VRTX. Regeneron, man. This is one stock that I'm not going to lie, I probably wanted a little piece of and never took it. And should have probably taken a shot on it. Stock kicks ass, man. Moderna doesn't. I don't know if I trust Moderna with this little comeback move.
Sorry, I'm still watching Rigetti here. I actually made a mistake. Bought too much.
Hey,
but the trade's working, so
a little fat finger. Just focus on it, man.
yeah, that's what I'm doing.
I'll keep talking. You know I can do that all day. The Qs. Well, okay, into the Qs here. Let's see what's going on, guys. We didn't get the VWAP bounce, and that actually looks strong for me. We're back up through the 367s. Now I want to see 367 hold and just continue the grind higher. Grind higher could just be kind of coming back after the recent downside action move. So now let's kind of hold the 366.80s. Let's get back up there, 368, and continue grinding higher is what I'd like to see. Apple doesn't look too bad. It did try to make that move continuation. Microsoft hasn't really gone back to the 322s. That would be a good level to see. And we'll see if it holds VWAP. Target. There's a lot of retail earnings coming up next week. Stocks like You know what? I think I can maybe get this list right in
I was
here.
going to say, do you have the graphic already?
No, unfortunately, the graphic wasn't made yet. We'll talk about that later. But I do have stocks. All right, that I could already look at. I have SE on CAH, Pan W will be reporting next week. Deere, AMAT, Walmart, Costco, not Costco, no, Cisco, Target, of course, you guys talked about that. Home Depot will be reporting. So these are all stocks that you guys can keep an eye out for. Let me see if we got that earnings calendar in yet. I was looking for it this morning, team. Looks like we're on it. We'll be getting it to you guys a little bit later. So stay tuned to the Twitter. I'm sure it'll be up there.
Yeah, I will. Stopped out of Rigetti, unfortunately, so that didn't work. But oh well. Could work again.
All right. Now we're going to look to see if Microsoft can continue the upside move here. Let's see if it takes 322s. That's what I'm looking at. Why this morning feels long. It does. It does. And sometimes Fridays can feel like that. That's why a lot of times there's lower action in the afternoon. I feel like a lot of times Fridays can feel very long in trading. And so that can happen. Put some music on or something. I got you. I'll put something on here. Let's put a little tunes on in the back. Little lo-fi. Let's see what I got here. There we go. Let's go, team. Let's see what we can get into. Of course, I'm not trying to open up too much now, as I've already tried to play this upside move. Google's doing well too, and so not feeling too bad about that. Google's looking strong there. How's the Tesla Dragon? Now starting to hold that 240. That looks actually not too bad there. I'm getting penned a little bit into the red now. Since I'm back down here, eventually I might try to take one more add to this pen and then get back to the upside. I still have the ability to add to this one. I will be adding to it and holding towards 2350s today. So just got to keep an eye on it. That's all it is. DraftKings is another one I'll be keeping a watch on for the next couple of days to see if I can get a pullback opportunity. I'm looking for a little bit closer towards 26 and 25. So it's already bouncing off the 50, but doesn't look too bad. DraftKings had a good report. Will they buy a pen off the 24 today? We'll see. All right,
back.
Microsoft. There you go. It's good to have you back, my friend.
I really had to go to the bathroom, but I was babysitting that trade, and I was like,
I gotta go quick.
I gotta go quick.
I gotta go quick.
Here's 50 on Rigetti. Let's see if it goes through. Nope, not yet.
This guy Ryan running around the house.
I mean, I had to.
Netflix puts. I feel you, Nando. I was looking for it today, maybe. Starting to break. I don't know. My problem is the market. The market goes up today. I don't really want to be shorting too much, so You know, sometimes like just look at it and I'm just like, do I really want to short right now? I'm like long some major names, so that's why I'm not taking my shot at Netflix. Don't want to see the Qs come back to VWAP today. It would be nice to see them just hold these levels and then get right back up to 368. Especially the Qs, because the Qs are a little bit more hit than the SPY is. BTU pulling back a little bit.
Spaghetti pulling back off that spot. Tried 250 a few times. Got to think it tries it again.
Would love to see BTU now hold 2290s, 2280s, not break back below that level. I just like Penn overall now. I think a lot of traders got stopped out on the news, and now I'm going to try to catch them as it goes right back up. And I like playing plays like that. Smoke tuna, that's a whole nother ball game for me.
I was gonna say I didn't even want to comment on that, but I wouldn't want that. Let's just put it that way. I wouldn't want that.
Let's just say you don't want to hear the. All right, guys, we'll see what else is going on out there, guys. It seems like the market's a little slowing up here, a little slowed up.
Definitely. We had
10:49.
an interesting morning though, and don't forget this might not be done for the day. We've seen some of these moves go later in the day.
Yeah, that's for sure. So instead of bringing up my baseball talk, because I'd love to talk baseball, you know, that's just how I am. But I'll bring up a different topic here. Ryan, can you believe you can be making 170,000 with UPS just doing delivery?
I mean, that's a tough job.
Ryan, $49 an hour.
I mean, hey, if you want to lift boxes all day, that's your out, man.
Hey, well, that's the recent move that happened.
I mean, I can believe it because we really, I mean, we need those services. They're becoming more and more pronounced. And I mean, that job tears your body down. So, I mean, I get it. I'd rather trade though, just saying.
El Don said, yo, sign me up. I'll take the 170K, bro. I'll carry all the packages you want. You don't even got to give me a truck, bro. Put it on the back. I got it. It's one of the hardest jobs you ever do. I don't know if it's one of the hardest jobs I'll ever do. I've done a lot of hard jobs before. I've done a lot of yard work jobs. I've done door-to-door sales.
Oh, that's the worst, dude. Oh my God.
I've done some pretty crazy jobs. I've delivered pianos. I mean,
Delivered pianos.
I've done it all, guys. I've done it all.
Oh my goodness. Ryan looks awful in brown. Thanks, Jay. Thanks, Jay.
Yeah. The uniform's not as flashy.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the uniform either, to be quite honest with you.
Mystery Man said, I thought door-to-door sales were fun.
Oh no,
I mean,
dude, that was my nightmare. That was the worst job I ever had.
Yeah, just put it this way. I don't like to manipulate people on a daily basis to get them to buy things.
At their doorstep.
The worst part is I got good at it. And so, like, you know what I mean? It's like, do I make this grandma buy this package right now? Or do I just walk away and be morally correct?
That's so bad, dude.
It's tough, right, Ryan? This is why I don't do sales anymore, man. Because I'm good at it. But at the same times, I sometimes feel a little, the morals eventually hit me later. You know what I mean? I'm like,
yeah.
I can't do this all the time. And we're getting that pullback in the Qs, man. Doesn't want to go, team. We'll see if we can hold on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set stops, right? I don't want Microsoft to go back to the red today. So I got to pay attention to what? Opening price. Opening price is so important. Opening is 320.59. So I'm not going to let it break that 320 mark today. $320 is where I'm setting my stop on Microsoft. And then now I got to set my stop on Apple. Apple's going to be a little bit different. Opening price, $177.45. So we're going to do $177.40. You guys are seeing how I'm going about it here, literally. I think that's very important to just kind of set that up for yourself and always know where you want to get out. If this stocks go back to the opening price, I don't want nothing to do with them. UPS drivers don't need gym memberships.
That's right. They get workout from their job, bro.
I actually know a UPS driver, man, and I mean, I'm at least happy for him that at least he'll be able to, you know, get more money. Let's just be honest. These guys make a lot of money for these companies, and so it's something to think about. Yeah, it's not easy. And Wisdom saying, Oxy, I love you. Yeah, I know. Energy has been a pretty nice ride. Let's just say that. I think Wisdom and I have been trying to make money on this oil game for a while. I'm glad you were able to make another trade today, Wisdom, on oil. And definitely oil just grinding higher today, guys. And with that grind, that's another reason why I'm feeling confident about BTU and then being in a coal position as I'm seeing energy continue to rise. Look at the move in XLE today. Look at that, Ryan. That's pretty strong for
Yeah, it sure is. Speaking of strong,
ETF.
MGIH, Jay called it in the chat here. MGIH blew through that spot. Now it's yanked back a little bit, but it did blow through there.
Darren said, yep, I agree with Ryan. The trading life is for me. And that's
Same.
exactly what it's all about, right? I mean, that's what we're here for, right? All right, guys, it's 10:55. We're going to be wrapping up here at 11. Stick around, guys. We got all access. I see the deep and wonderful voice of Michael Murray getting ready here. You guys don't miss it. We got all access coming up next. All right, YOLO oil from Maui today. Oof. You think that could be affecting it? I don't know, man. I'm just definitely willing to ride the trend as long as it goes. And Valero up almost 2% now. That's been a nice little push there in oil today. PXD. This is one that I might have gotten out way too early, guys. I got at this one in like 225s. But look how the 9 EMA trend has held on this thing. Look at that. These are my type of long-term charts that I like to find. Remember, we looked at one like this earlier in healthcare. Look at the monthly on this thing. That's pretty. That's pretty. And then I think there's some buyout rumors that keep being mentioned for PXD. We'll see if that ever comes through. But overall, nice little reversal on the weeklies and been straight up in like, what, 5 weeks? What is this? Yeah, 5 weeks, man. Not bad. Hit that like. Nando knows it. The trend's your friend until it isn't. We'll find out. Loving the VWAP hold on Rigetti so far, says SS Trades. Keeping an eye on that Rigetti.
Yep. It's a good one. I actually think it comes back into VWAP here.
Yeah, that would be dope. If we could take energy out of volcanoes, David, now you're talking some kind of advancements that would be awesome, right? We can use thermal energy. That'd
Yeah,
be
geothermal
dope.
from volcanoes. That would be great.
Hopefully one day. All right. So stops I set for Apple and Microsoft. Looking at Penn's still down there. Now making a little bit of a extended move to the downside here. This is where I got to consider, do I take my ad or do I not? I could just hold off on the ad and give it a little bit more room. So a lot of times if I'm going half position, right, I can either let it go about the full point, or in this case, it's add and then go 50 cents on the risk. So I'm just considering that right now. Do I want to give Penn the room to maybe go down through that 2350s and then not add here and then just hold off of a dollar risk, which wouldn't be a bad loss on the account. And that's the important thing too. Like always just keep the risk and return, because you never want to lose your mathematical probability. Once you lose it, it's very hard to bring it back on a small account. All right, looking around to see what else is making moves. Tesla. Well, that's staying in green. That's coming back. The Qs, what's up with that? Just back below VWAP. Looking like it's trying to break down. Let's see if it can recover VWAP. A lot of chop today, I feel like.
Yeah,
we got
there
this
is.
down move all the way down. Then we made it all the way kind of back to that pre-market action. And now we're right back down. So a lot of chop. Let's just be honest. Tesla. When are you guys going to get a longer show, says James. James wants us on all day long.
I mean, that would be fun.
Is that what you want, James? You want live trading all day, guys? Let us know. Put a 1 in the chat if you'd stick around all day long. I want to see who trades all day long. There's some traders that don't even leave their desk, man. I've seen some traders eat lunch.
It's crazy.
I mean, I have to take a break every now and then. We would have to bring some other traders in, but you know, I'd love to hear it. Love to hear your opinion.
We would need guests to be able to do that. I can't sit in front of the computer all day focusing on that. I'd like to, but I can't.
Look at the
I have to get up and walk around and take breaks and stuff. Look
at you guys. I love it. Hey, you guys always can let us know, right? We always listen to feedback, so drop those 1s if you really want it. Look at those 1s flowing, baby. Walter says, I walk to the coffee machine and I come back. I like it. I like it, Walter.
Mitch, I got to get rolling. Have a good one. Everyone have a good weekend.
Have a good one, Ryan. We'll get you out of here. I'm going to go ahead and bring down my music here, and then I'm going to start wrapping it up here. Like always, guys, keep an eye out on the markets. You guys can keep talking about the markets in the chat right now. We're going to transition over to All Access, but that doesn't mean that you guys don't stop trading. So keep battling, keep talking about it in the chat, and check out this new opportunity. That's really what we do, All Access, trying to uncover the next opportunity that you guys might be missing out on. Let's go ahead. Let's bring down my charts. Let's bring on the one, the only Michael Murray, ready to go, ready to get after it. How we doing, my friend?
Mitchell, we're doing good. How are you doing, man?
Doing good. It's looking good in Detroit. Nice and bright and sunny.
It's feeling good up here, man. It is the dog days of summer, but it is pretty. It is warm. It is golfing season. I will be out there later today. We're feeling good, man. Thanks for running a good show this morning. Sounded great.
Hey, love to hear it. Let you take over. Have fun, guys, on All Access.
Thank you, Mitch. Appreciate it, man. We are going to kick off Benzinga All Access with a very exciting guest from Plus Therapeutics this morning. We're going to roll that intro and get right into things. Welcoming in Dr. Mark Hedrick. He is MD, President and CEO of Plus Therapeutics. Dr. Hedrick, it's great to have you with us this morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, Michael. Good morning. Great to be here.
Pleasure to have you here, Dr. Hedrick. Let's go ahead and kick things off. We've talked with you guys at Plus Therapeutics many times over the past few months and even years now, I believe. But let's kick things off with a brief introduction to the company. Tell us a little bit about Plus Therapeutics and what you do.
Yeah, Michael, we're a biotech company. We develop targeted radiotherapeutics, little nuclear bombs in a way that go right to the tumor, only kill the tumor and kill nothing else. And we're going after CNS cancers, central nervous system cancers, brain cancers, which are some of the most deadly cancers out there. And we have very poor options for them.
Understood. So can you maybe give us a little bit of the gravity of the overall breadth and just widespread nature of this problem that you're looking to address? I think that it may be one of those things that's not discussed so frequently because of the technical nature of how you're solving it. But give us maybe a sense of how many people are impacted by this issue that you're looking to solve.
Well, one reason we're on this morning is wanted to talk about some data we released. I'm here in San Francisco at the Society for Neuro-Oncology, American Society of Clinical Oncology meeting. And we presented data this morning for a central nervous system cancer called leptomeningeal metastases. It's on the rise. It affects about 150,000 patients per year, but it's probably 2 to 4 times underdiagnosed. So maybe as many as 500,000 patients. And it's what happens when a woman may have breast cancer or a man with lung cancer, for example. We might have good local control of the tumor, but it pops up into around the brain, the spinal fluid, and then there's no good treatment. These patients die in 4 to 6 weeks without treatment, and just a few months, even with treatment, and there's nothing approved by the FDA. I think you have a slide up right now. You can see the disease on the left, and on the right is our drug. You're actually seeing our drug in real time in the colored images, where we put a small port in these patients' skulls. We have direct access to the central nervous system, and we put our drug, which is a targeted radiotherapeutic that is made in a nuclear reactor. It's called rhenium obisbemeda, and then it essentially circulates rapidly. Within minutes, it sterilizes the central nervous system and spinal fluid by circulating in that space, and stays there for well over a week with a single 5-minute administration in the clinic.
Understood. Okay, so can you maybe lay out a couple of next steps for us here? This is really exciting news, and we're obviously very pleased to have the chance to have you on and talk about it when it's so recent here. But let's talk a little bit about what this means for Plus Therapeutics and what you're going to do next. What does this set you up for, and what really excites you about this opportunity as you release this data?
Well, okay, there's another slide. If you could show that'll help illustrate about why we're so excited about this, and I'll tell you what our next steps are. So this is phase 1 data. On the left, it shows the decrease in cell count. So we can actually, because we have access to the central nervous system, which is very unique, we have access to the fluid. We can take the fluid out at any time during the follow-up. We can assess exactly how many tumor cells are in the spinal fluid. So what you see in this graph on the left is a 50 to 90% reduction in tumor cells after a single dose. In fact, a very low dose that persists for a month with a single administration. So that's excellent news. It shows biologic response, which is what you want to see. Very unusual to see that in a phase 1 dose escalation trial. But the real money is on the right side. As I mentioned, these patients live a few weeks or a few months. We showed that in the first patients we've treated, single administration, the overall survival is at 10 months. So we have 5 patients that are still alive. So very unusual in a phase 1 to see biologic response and a survival response, but also a great safety profile. So we're really excited to continue to find the maximum dose, add multiple doses, and maybe turn this fatal disease into a chronic disease, or maybe even have some cures. Or if patients are going to succumb to their disease, it won't be because of their central nervous system disease. It might be the disease somewhere. But this could be a major step forward for these patients.
Outstanding. And I'm also aware that you guys are participating at the SNO ASCO CNS Cancer Conference right now on the 10th through the 12th out in San Francisco. What's being discussed out there, and is this data that you've just released coming up as a prevalent point that you're discussing, and what's the feedback maybe that you might be hearing about what you've just released?
Yeah, and if you could put up the next slide, Michael, that'd be great. So yeah, we're here at the Society for Neuro-Oncology meeting. It's an annual brain metastases meeting, and one of the things that is on everybody's mind is the fact that, I sort of mentioned it before, that we're able, with new drugs and immuno-oncology therapies and new small molecule therapies, we're able to control cancers like melanoma, breast cancer, and lung cancer. The problem is, even though you have local control, it pops up, and it pops up in the central nervous system. That's a shielded, protected environment in the body. And so there's a lot of excitement now because we're so good at controlling the primary disease. Now doctors can pivot to this very important growing complication called leptomeningeal disease. And targeted radiotherapeutics are really taken off. There have been 3 really major drugs that have been launched relatively recently. So we're right at the cusp of this new direction towards going after these CNS applications, but also in the targeted radiotherapeutic space, which is also very hot.
Wonderful. So let's take a little bit more of a longer term approach here too, as we start to wind down with the data that you've just released, the exciting path that you're on, the progress that you've made, especially recently. What do these next few years look like for Plus Therapeutics? What are you going to do on the development side? What is that path forward going to look like? And if you take a snapshot of the company 2, 3, 4 years from now, where do you see yourselves being at Plus Therapeutics?
Yeah, so from a development perspective, we're a small micro cap company, but we're very frugal. We fund our trials through grants. So the leptomeningeal cancer drug that I just showed you is funded by approximately $18 million by the state of Texas. We have another indication using the same drug for glioblastoma, which is primary brain cancer, a rarer disease. And we're actually in phase 2, and that's funded by the National Cancer Institute. So we're able to take these kind of first-in-class, CNS-focused, targeted radiotherapeutic drugs and get outside sources of capital, which allows us to minimize dilution, but drive these things forward. And by phase 2, you effectively know it's going to work or not. So we're in a position where we have 2 co-lead indications that are multi-billion-dollar opportunities. We're going after, in aggregate, opportunities that are $8 to $10 billion. They're unmet medical needs, horrible prognosis, and really in need of new drug opportunities. So the next 3 years or so for us is getting these drugs through phase 2, potentially partnering them with larger companies. There's a number of new public companies that are looking for drugs in their mid-stage pipeline. We think these are 2 assets that are going to be very attractive for partnering while we continue to develop new drugs and new opportunities in our pipeline in sort of our grant-funded development model.
That's terrific. Great breakdown there. And I want to make it even just a little bit more granular here as we close out with the final question. For retail investors, right, in our audience, you just talked about the dilution opportunities this gives you and the way that you're able to raise capital, how you're funding through grants. For retail investors in our following specifically right here, what does this data mean and why should they be paying such close attention to Plus Therapeutics right now, especially over the rest of this year as we go into the middle of Q3?
So data drives milestones and data drives partnerships, and milestones and partnerships in biotech drive value and drive opportunity. So if you look back at our history, we're very communicative. We're very highly followed company. And we're now setting up to be able to get the interest of large companies that need new drugs in their pipeline for an unmet medical need. And we'll try to position ourselves for that group of capital sources from a partnership perspective that can really drive value. So we've built the infrastructure, we've built it sanely and frugally, and now I think over the next 2 or 3 years, and perhaps even sooner in terms of milestones, we'll be able to capture that value.
Wonderful. Dr. Hedrick, we know you're busy at your conference out in San Francisco. Congratulations on the data coming out, and thank you very much for taking a few minutes out to spend with us here this morning and share more details.
Yeah, Michael, thanks. See you. Take care. Have a good weekend.
Take care. Dr.
Bye-bye.
Mark Hedrick there, MD, President and CEO of Plus Therapeutics, traded on the NASDAQ as PSTV. We want to thank the entire Plus Therapeutics team for taking time out for what we're sure is a busy time out in San Francisco and sharing more about the data. Follow Plus Therapeutics on their channels. Look for their next news. And of course, keep up with Benzinga News 2 on the YouTube for the rest of the day as we finish out this week. Get some golf in if you're able to. Hit the links. And everybody have a great weekend. We'll see you next time.